We have Sisi Jagannath Baldev Sudamai ki jai, Nitai Chaitanya ki jai, Vaman Dev ki jai. Constatu Bhagwan ki jai. Let's start off with prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chaksurulmitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namani. Namaste Saraswati Gaurvani Pacharni Nirvisheshunyavadi Paschatya Destani. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. So we are studying from chapter 3 Kama Yoga, and we are at text 19. Tasmadasakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Tasmadasakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty. For by working without attachment, one attains the Supreme. So a very interesting verse which we are seeing today. Prabhupada writes in this purport something very interesting. Maybe we can stop the share. So, yes, Prabhupada writes something very interesting in this purport. Let me just share that. So Prabhupada writes in this, to be a good man or a non-violent man is a personal attachment. But to act on behalf of the Supreme is to act without attachment for the result. That is perfect action of the highest degree, recommended by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Prabhupada also in the previous line says, a person acting under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of work is certainly making progress towards the supreme goal of life. So a couple of things which we have to think through. One is working under guidance and working without attachment to the result of the work. Sometimes people also have a misconception. They say that, yeah, I'm working without attachment. So at least when someone is working with attachment, then they when they are working with attachment at that point of time, they at least working for the results, without understanding certain, they say we will not work without attachment. So, and then, but they are not under proper guidance. Then they actually don't know why they are working. And that leads to premature renunciation of work, which becomes difficult. Many times we see that devotees are like, they leave their work, but they have not totally thought through about it, and then they again come back after some days, then they are totally fried out. That's because they didn't do it under proper guidance, because under proper guidance, then they would have been told how it can be worked out for them, right? Very important. And when we are working without attachment, when will you work without attachment? When you understand that there is something which is important for the service of the Lord. You know that it is not for your own pleasure, but it is for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of God. That is non-attachment. Attached means you're attached. That means you're attached to certain things. You can be attached to a position, your name, your fame, anything you can be attached to. But here it is saying that you should not be attached to the results of your work. Uh, but again, Prabhupada is saying under proper guidance. So under proper guidance, if we are seeing Prabhupada is saying, there's no way. It's like it's very difficult. Like when you're walking on the road, right? Your legs are attached to the ground. And so that means you have to some way or the other stay attached with something or the other. Mm. So the proper aspect is if we are unattached to our own pleasure, but attached to the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That will make it very interesting. Just give right. Yeah. So it becomes very imperative that how we have to work. So we have to work without attachment as a matter of duty. Like as a matter of duty, it is not that whether someone will say good or bad. I have to work. Whether someone will be pleased or not pleased, I have to do it for the pleasure of Guru Gauranga and then Guru and Krishna. That is an attachment. So for every activity of ours, we have to do something which will be pleasing to Krishna. So in act of instruction it comes. Sorry, in Bhakti Rasamrita that Krishna Anushilanam. So we do activities which are favorable for our Krishna consciousness, and we do activity we renounce the activities which are unfavorable for our progress. That is one step higher. That becomes a step higher in stressing out that becomes a step higher in stressing that we are not doing for our own pleasure, but we are doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. How does that work? Because you you may think what is favorable generally. We being conditioned living beings, we generally think what is good for our material life, what is for our immediate requirement, because we are totally like the gulab jamun in that not the sukha gulab jamun, it's like a wet gulab jamun, you put it in the sugar syrup, so it's totally hobnobbing in the sugar syrup. Similarly, we are all actually like that. We are totally hobnobbing in the sugar syrup of sense gratification. In everything, we want to see what is it in for me. I mean, that's the uh, thing in the modern corporate world. Everyone asks, "What's in it for me? Why should I do it? What's in it for me?" But I think the point which should be thought about is uh, it's not only what's in it for me, but what can I do of this for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of God. So initially it will be difficult for us to figure out. uh, and that's why Prabhupada is writing in that under the proper guidance. So one proper way, I remember one Mataji wrote a offering to Srila Prabhupada some years back. I think it was Vishaka Mataji or someone, one of Prabhupada's nice mother disciples, nice Mataji disciple. So she wrote that, what would you do if Srila Prabhupada happened to be there right in front of you? Um, that can help us to actually perform our activities. Supposing I'm in my kitchen and supposing Srila Prabhupada enters my kitchen, will he be happy seeing my kitchen and the way it is? Will if you or your spiritual master, will he be happy? Think about it. Second is, if he comes to your altar, sees your altar, will he be happy seeing your altar? Will he be happy when you are sitting and browsing the internet? And if your spiritual master happens to sit side of you, will he be happy with whatever you're browsing? Will he be happy with whatever you did yesterday, last Sunday? If he was there with you the total Sunday, would you have been happy? If you can, in all your statements, if you can figure out that whatever you did was actually pleasing for your spiritual master or for Srila Prabhupada, then be rest assured that you have not worked for your own name and fame. You have not worked for your position. You have not worked for being attached to the result of what you're doing. You have done it for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Because Guru and Gauranga never see the end result. They are usually not, they are worried, they are more concerned on the endeavor you put. Krishna is more concerned on the endeavor you put. Gurudev is more concerned on the endeavor you put. Success and failure is very minimalistic for them. For them, based on the endeavor, it's like a small child makes an endeavor to say father, can just say appa, and the father is overjoyed. It's the same thing. Uh, but if you're not a small child, then it's a different together. Then you will be judged for it. That why are you not doing this? How can't you speak about it? But if you are always as a small child, take the analogy in the right spirit. If you're always small child, always a small child means always under the care and guidance of your father and working for his pleasure, then that work is without attachment, because you will always think what will be helpful for, what is pleasing to them. So any activity which we do, just think about it. Let that be a thought for this week, that whatever I'm doing today, right from this time, is this activity pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, to Gurudev? Will I do the same thing when he's in front of me? Supposing I'm giving the class and he's sitting in front of me, will it be pleasing to him or not pleasing to him? Whenever, whatever I'm cooking, will it be pleasing to him? Not pleasing to him. Cleanliness, will it be pleasing to him? Not pleasing to him. Think about every aspect of your life, and wherever you think that that aspect you would not do if Prabhupada was at your side, or if Guru Maharaj was at your side, then change it. Change it without worrying about anything. Change it, and you will feel nice about it, and you will grow in your spiritual life. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If you all have any comments or questions, we can take that.